Today I want to talk about meaning it when we ask a person about their well-being. Let me read in Exodus chapter 18, verse 5 to 9. What I'm saying is not just how are you, and they return by saying, and how are you? That's not real on both parts, really. So I want to talk about meaning it, and Exodus chapter 18, verse 5. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness where he was encamped at the mountain of God. That would be Moses' wife, right? Now, he had said to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her two sons with her. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their well-being, and they went into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that had come upon them on the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. So here we see a discussion, a discourse about both well-being. In other words, how are you? Meaning it and replying by meaning as well. All right. God had to deal with me with this because, the Lord, as believers, directs us different places for different people with different needs. There's a girl at the Timmy's here, not too far from me, and I applied this revelation, if you will, to this girl and really meant and really carried a conversation with her when I could. She's a cashier. And then one day, actually, she said to me, when I went in, she says, oh, you're late today. And I got thinking, how does she know I'm late? Well, she remembers who I am. And that's the idea. When we really, really mean and really care about people, they are interested in us. All right. No one was more compassionate and a good listener than Jesus. People can feel sincerity in our speech. When they see that we really care about them by our conversation, we have their attention and will usually remember us the next time we meet them. But there are weaknesses here. My weaknesses were, still some I'm sure, rushing, selfishness, no compassion for others. My time is too valuable, and on and on and on. In 1972, when I was out west for 3 months, homeless on drugs, I remember being on a bus, and a lady sitting next to me, and I asked her for money, of course, for drugs or alcohol, both, and she said no, but I will give you some money for food, or I will buy you food. And I think she was willing to get off the bus to get me food because she wouldn't give me the money. And but I remember her. I remember her kindness, and of course I remember all I remember she talked about Jesus. You see how important it is for us to be good listeners and to be there for other people. All right. So having said all that, if others feel we are sincere in talking with them, they may listen to us when we talk to them about Jesus. It's true. And so, when we look at the life of Jesus, he was at the right place at the right time for the right person. We can be at the right place at the right time for the right person. I remember, let me finish this way. I remember my mother-in-law, who I was dear to, I used to take her to the doctor here and there, and I remember one time we went here to the drugstore, there to the drugstore, there to the drugstore, and finally we found one that had what she wanted, and I sat down, and I was getting impatient, and a lady sat next to me, and I began to listen to her and to talk to her, and found out she was dying, well, not dying, but she had cancer, and I began to talk to her, and she began to cry, and I prayed for her. You see, that's how important it is for us to be listeners and to really mean it and say, how are you? How are you?